Okay, hello and welcome. This will be a little bit of a long video, so feel free to just keep it to the part that you want to see. Because I tried to connect the fprint Datecs and the software I'm using right now to print the Datecs to be able to print the cashier's receipts. So I wanted to do just to make this video in order to show everyone how to do this. I'm talking in English because I saw that Datecs is used in a lot of countries, so I hope this will help you. And how to do this actually. So first thing first, when you go to the Datecs website, you have to download the fprint. So you have here the fprint, which is currently in this version. This is from 16 August 2018, and also there is another version which is this one, which is more recent version, and you can actually try with this one first, which is says beta version here, but you can try with a beta because right now I'm working with a beta and it's still working. This is one thing I want to say. This is the URL, the address you can download the software from. Another thing I wanted to point out is that when you go to, I'm not using the English version right now because the options here are not the same for the English version. So, but feel free to find your own Datecs model. In my case, my model is missing actually. So my model is old one model, which the company in my own city that are representing Datecs are actually I don't know what, remodeling, or I don't know what exactly, not remodeling, but did something to fix and to be able to work with it and print with it from the computer. And I just use the closest one to my own model, which is DP35, and this is DP25, and I just downloaded this version over here. So it says from 14th of January, and I'm using currently this version, and actually it's working. If you know what you're doing, it's working. I'll just explain it now. So after that, I want to point out, when you install Datecs fprint, you end up with this folder, which is which you can find in C, program files, then Datecs application, then fprint win. So when you go inside this folder, you can go to help and you can click either the Bulgarian or the English version. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. This is the English version, this is the Bulgarian version. Read it carefully, as they're very good instructions how to structure your file format. How to do your file format. I will not go into details how to do your file format, but because this is very much explained here. But if you have any questions, just write after this video and I'll try to answer them. Okay, so when you first launch fprint, you have actually they will create a desktop icon over here. I already deleted, but this is the path that is leading to this software over here. The thing is that when you install it, when you launch it, you will get with the settings. First will appear the settings. And when you set up the settings correctly, and when you click save, you'll be no longer able to actually start because first time when you start a program it will appear the settings, and then when you set up the settings, when you click start, I will show you. When you click start, it says it's already running, and if you want to be able to change the settings after that, you have to go to this address. So you have to go to program files, Datecs application, fprint win, and then click this file if you want to change the settings after that. Okay, but first, when you install the software, you end up with this screen and nothing will be populated there. So first enter your country, then enter your model and enter your connection. In my case, it's a USB connection, but it's modified USB. So if you don't have the cables to connect, just ask Datecs, and they will tell you what kind of cables do you need, sorry. And then the port, in my case it's only one port actually, and the speed. So this is the speed is very important here, because this speed, the company that it's that you have a contract for your model, for your Datecs model, have to provide you with this option, because the device actually it's set up to a specific speed that you don't know this speed, and they have to tell you that. So you have to call them and ask them what is the speed of my device, and in my case I asked my company that it's that I have a contract for my Datecs model, and they provided me with this information. This logic number, to be honest, I don't know what is this. 1, so I leave it by default, it's 1, and then the serial number of the device. You can just if you connect your device with your computer, just click take my serial number, and it should work. Actually, if everything is connected right, it should work. In my case, one of the USB didn't work the right way, so I just changed the USB, and then it worked. And then we have the key. So in order to print anything from your computer to Datecs, cashier, I will call it cashier, no, it's in English, it's cashier. So wait a second, I'll just show you. So it's Datecs DP35. So if I just write it like that, probably so this is what I have. This is my cashier. I'll call it cashier. This is what I'm talking about. This key actually is provided again from Datecs. You have to ask Datecs to give you this key, because without this key you cannot print. So this is very important as well. If you don't want to deal with Datecs, you can just go to the company that you have a contract for your cashiers, and they can contact Datecs, and they can provide the key for you. Another thing, the language, you know that already, and this is the type of operation. So this is important as well, because we will get that later on the file. But there are two types actually. To just say okay, error, and whatever those two are, I'm not sure. You probably, when you read the file, you get more. But when you have an error and you're just with a classic way of okay error, you are not able to see what kind of what number of error you are getting, because later on, so I recommend you to just stick with this number error, which is says number erroring, because later on, if you have an error, you are able to see what kind of error you're getting. In my case, I was getting an error and it just says 12. So if you go to the menu, it says fixture, I don't know how this is in English, command, it's not accessible, it's forbidden, which I didn't know what that mean, to be honest. But yeah, at least you know what kind of error you're getting later on. So we are actually using our server in our company. So first thing first, this folder is the executing file. So just point to the file directly that you want to execute, that your software is generating to execute. So in my case, I have the server, and this is I have one folder inside of the server. I have two cashiers, two kind of those. So I have two types of those. Not two types, but just twice identical things as those. And and I have two folders for the first one and for the second one. In theory, in general, if you have the name of the executing file, you should be able to just for example write in my case cache 1 and cache 2 because cache means cache, so it should be able to just make one folder, for example execute folder to execute or something like that, and then when it sees this file with this name, to execute it from this computer. And when it sees, because I have another computer connected to another cashier, and on another computer I want to say just cache 2, and when it sees cache 2, to just execute cache 2. But this is not, I don't know why, but this is not how this software is working. For example, when you have in this folder 1, when you have a file, it is executing immediately. It doesn't matter what is the name of the file, it's just executed immediately. I don't know why it's that, but yeah, if someone knows, just write comments below. So then you have the answering file, which is my case, it's irrelevant actually, but I never mind, I just write it down. And then we have the same folder so we're pointing to the folder that is that will be executing the files, and this is the name of the file. And then it says you have actually you have to click this. This is very important. You have to click, in my case you have to click this this mode, which is actually when the software sees a file, a THT file in this case, and see a file, it doesn't matter actually the format of the file, it could be anything, it could be without format, it could be .ia, whatever. And when it sees a file, it just read it as a text, and it's executing the file. So wherever there is a file here, it will execute the file and print it on the cashier. So only in this mode it's doing this looking in the folder and executing the file. So this is the file that it should be executed, the name of the file. It doesn't really matter what is the name of the file, I don't know why, but it doesn't really matter. And then you have two types of managing the files over here when they end up in this folder, to executing folder. You can move the file to another folder, or you can delete the file. It's up to you. In my case, I'm moving the files. I want to keep them in order if something happens, just to have them and to see what is going on. And this is the and where this is where you want to move them. So you can move them wherever you want. You can, in my case, I'm working with a server, as I said, and this is on my network. This is my network folder, but you can do it in your own computer. It's up to you and how how do you do it. So after that, I have the answering folder, which is in my case when there is a file over here. After it is executed, and it is going over here. So here are all the files that have been executed from the software. I will show you just I want to continue here, and this is the name of the executing file, which in my case it doesn't really matter what's the name, because here there is an option. It says leave the name or just change the name. In my case, I'm changing the names with date timestamp, so it's date and hour, the name of the file, because if I leave the same name, imagine that all the files will be rewritten, and I would lose all my files except the last one. And this is the interval of milliseconds that the software will look for new files inside this folder, which I leave it by default. And this is the log files, which for whatever reason it's not actually logging anything. When I had errors, it's not logging anything. I don't know why again. And the last option, I'm not going to talk about this option because they're very self-explained options. But this option actually is very important. I was not able to print receipts because here it was 0 0 0 0 4 zeros. By default it's 4 zeros, which is actually only for printing. So you can print like text but nothing else, or barcodes, something like that, but nothing else. If you want to print receipt, you have to make this 1. So you put this 1 over here and everything should work. So that's everything for the file. When you're done with the file, just click exit and then start the software. Here, just start this software, and because nothing is showed up here on the screen, you can see if it started or not. Just go right click on dispatcher manager and just go down, and you should be able, here it is, you should be able to see the software running. It's very important the software is running, because right now it's looking at this folder to see if there are any files, and if there are any files, it will just execute them. So one more thing, very important thing, in order this to work automatically, you have to actually make this software, this program fprint, to start automatically when your computer starts. So in order to do this, you just click right click over here and click run or respond in. It doesn't really matter what language you are, and just write this shell to that startup and click OK. What this will do is actually go into your static programs, and here you can have many. I have only one fprint right now, but in order to add fprint over here, so just click right and then create, and then create a shortcut. And here you can just point to whatever software you want to point out. In my case, it's Datecs fprint, and this is the software fprint. And click OK. I will not click OK right now because I already added, so I'm not clicking OK here. And so that's it. That's very important, because every time the computer starts, it will start the software, so people will not have to do anything. The staff that is using the software will not have to do anything. And that's it actually. Wait a second to just check it out if everything yeah, okay, so that's it actually. you're done. After that, you're done. And how you can check if everything is working, for example, this file over here, it's just a test file, which in this case it's selling potatoes. This is the price of the potatoes. The price must be with the VAT. This is the quantity and blah 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 blah. It's all written in this file, as I said. How to structure your file. Another here it is. Here it says everything. It is in Bulgaria, but there is also an English version here, so you can do this for whatever country you are in. And for example, just go at the bottom, and for example, this is my model, and you can see all the commands, and you can see demo text files, how to structure them. So it's very important to just write your goods, and then at the end just write the T, which is to like ending up the command. Says command is finished, text is finished, just print it out right now, print the receipt. But you will see that this is actually important. I don't know if you I don't know if you see it, but I'm just that's why I'm telling this. You have to end up your receipts with this T option. Okay, so this is for my case, this is the demo file. It's txt file. I'll just copy it. So I'm copy pasting it. So copy paste it over here, and if I click F5, you will see briefly the file is renamed, and then it's went to execute it. So if I go to execute it, this is the file from today. If I click, this is the answered file. So it's creating an answered file, and it's populating those parameters in the answered file. So that's it. I hope I answered everything, and I hope I told you everything about the software and how to start it up and how to manage it. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comment. Thanks. Goodbye.